Okay.
They was trying to slow it down, but he said, listen, I got places to be, people to see, and things to do.
You know, the day I want to leave D.C., they decided Amtrak's going to be late.
Yeah, right. You know, so y'all know the voice y'all listening to now, of course, is none other than our brother, Congressman Donald M. Payne Jr., and the M stands for making things happen. Welcome to the building, brother. This is the Payne Report.
Good to be with you, my brother.
All right. What's going down, brother?
Well, I mean, you know, as you stated, I just getting off the train from D.C. and had a pretty interesting week, I would say, yesterday.
To say the least.
Culminating in the moving forward in the hearings on President Trump and the inquiry into impeachment. And, you know, nobody likes to do this, but it is our constitutional obligation. It's the one job in Congress that we have is to be the check and balance of the executive branch.
That's what I heard Nancy Pelosi say to Speaker of the House.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we're doing our job. We're I mean, you know, no one deserves it more than him, but we're doing our job.
Yeah.
And you know, it's unfortunate that we have a person in the White House that is just totally void of law and order and anything other than enriching himself.
Right.
And you know, the founding fathers of this country didn't set it up that way. This is what they were trying to set it up against.
Exactly.
They did not want a tyrant. They did not want a dictator. They did not want a king. They just came out of that.
Yeah.
So they did everything they could to make it a government of the people, and having the Congress be the check and balance for the administration, the executive branch, is our sworn duty.
Yeah. Yes. And even that, I mean, what you got to understand is that this guy doesn't even have. You know, it's funny because when I was an undergrad, one of the things they used to talk about all the time in political science was, you know, the United States of America was a country of laws. This guy has no respect for the law, and I thought everybody respected the Congress, man. And this is one guy who's like, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care. I know y'all make the laws, but I really don't care.
Yeah. Well,
you know, and then not only that, he even got an attorney general that's acting just as nuts, man.
The attorney general's supposed to work for the people
you follow
the
me?
country.
Yeah.
But he has his own personal lawyer.
Right. And so is he telling this guy, look, man, you can just break the law. Don't worry about it. I got you.
You know, I don't know, but it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I mean, based on the way they're operating, it's pretty close to that.
Yeah. I was watching, you know, not only you on the floor, but I was listening to Nancy Pelosi, and, you know, and she pretty much laid it out, man. She just said, look, you know, these three branches of government were set up for checks and balances, and it just seems like at this particular point, I mean, no one can check this guy.
Right.
I mean, and not only that, he's telling everybody that's with him that they don't have to pay attention to the rule of law.
Absolutely.
So you can just break the law. Don't worry about it. I got you. Even if they put you in jail, don't worry about it. I got it set up.
Covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
It's absolutely despicable.
And think about all the young people that's looking at this, Congressman.
I know.
I mean, we're looking at
for the future.
Right. And think about all of the kids who. I mean, I can only imagine the kids studying political science now looking at this. Because when I was studying political science, I was like, wow, man, you had respect for the Senate and the Congress. Like now, like there's no respect for the presidency?
No, it's a sad state of affairs, and that's why we have to make sure that he's a one-term president.
Yeah.
Because, you know, impeachment is the goal.
Right.
But, you know, the way things have gone so far, you know, we can't hang our hat on that either.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, we're like the grand jury, the Congress.
That's right.
And so we indict.
Right.
And then it goes over to the Senate.
Yeah.
Is the jury.
Yeah.
And you know, they look like they're kind of are willing to look the other way.
Well, based on what they they basically said that, you guys are acting like, communists. I'm like, where's that coming from?
I don't understand that.
Right, like, I was watching Morning Joe and I was saying, wait a minute, what so the Congress is the communists now? I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
What happened to the Republicans? Weren't they the guys who everything that came out of their mouth was about America, and Americans, and Americans? Right. What happened to that?
It's all gone.
Remember when Ronald Reagan was the president? I mean, come on, man. Everywhere you went, and I remember there was this argument at one point with Ronald Reagan: if you didn't wear a flag, on your lapel, you were not American. Right. What happened, man?
It's the world's been turned upside down.
Oh man, this is absolutely incredible, man.
It really is. I mean, they were at one time, being a communist was, an insult. They used that against black people. You commie,
I remember that.
But now all of a sudden, Putin is all right. Everything's
Donald
all
Trump's partner, bro.
With the communists. I mean, what happened to all that? They were teaching me all these years. It's unreal. So wait a minute. Now the commies are all right?
Yeah.
It's absurd. It's ridiculous.
I know one thing is for sure, man. I would not want to be in Washington D.C. right now with all of that chaos, man. Because from day to day, you don't really know what's going on. And here's the other thing. I heard that Donald Trump is no longer a New Yorker, man.
Oh yeah, I just heard that today as well. He moved to Florida.
Yeah. And they said that that is because he doesn't have to pay any taxes.
Right.
Like, wow.
Makes sense. Yeah, there's no income tax in Florida.
But he's a real American, though, right? I mean, what American doesn't want to pay their taxes? Like, come on.
Hey, listen. It's just par for the course. Par for the course. But, on another note, it's been a pretty rough couple of weeks since the passing of Elijah Cummings.
Yeah, our beloved brother,
The gentleman from Maryland's 7th District in Baltimore.
Better known as the chairman, bro.
The chairman.
Yeah, man.
And, it's been pretty difficult on a few of us, most of us, and really kind of reflecting and looking back at the work that he had done. And, you never know when people are going to leave, so you got to really try to. It's another example of that hitting me, that you really got to, utilize people and talk to them and be with them, before they go, because you don't know when they're going to go. I mean, I knew he was having a little trouble because, I was helping him with it, actually, with my, me being dialysis patient. I've almost become like the go-to guy in the caucus when, one of my other colleagues is looking at that and all. They call me and I talk to them about it and give them. So I was doing that with Mr. Cummings over the past 3-4 weeks. He would call me and, Payne, what about this? What about that? And we were fairly close before, but in this new role, me kind of looking out for him. He really was like a father to me on the floor of Congress, because he's no nonsense guy, man. He's serious. He's about business,
right?
And that's what I always respected about him. He wasn't there to play.
Right.
He didn't play a lot. He smiled every once in a while, but he was about serious business for his constituents and the American people to the degree that he could be involved. And so it was a crushing blow. I mean, with all of this going on in Congress now, and there was a great feeling with him being head of oversight that we had somebody at the helm that was going to take care of business.
Absolutely, yeah.
So just a devastating blow. He would talk to me and he would talk about his situation and all, and he said, but he just said to me, he said, Payne, I'm scared, man. And it wasn't about his health. He's just scared about the direction of the country and what Trump was doing to it. He wasn't worried about himself.
Right.
Because it came out at his funeral, his wife said that he had been sick for 25 years. He had an illness that they said he wouldn't last 6 months.
Right.
And 25 years later, he's still here.
Right.
So that shows you this kind of man and grit and determination that, you know, that he was part of. He was supposed to be out of here 25 years ago, and he's still here, God rest his soul, you know, until last week. I went to, last week, the Congressional Black Caucus did what we call a special order hour. We do these every Monday night where we talk about any topic we want.
Right.
For an hour, we control the floor.
Okay.
Different members of the Congressional Black Caucus have an opportunity to come up and speak. And I spoke at that naturally. But I also went to the floor a few days later after we learned that also, God rest his soul, the Dean of the Congress, John Conyers, passed away at the age of 90. And he, you know, he had risen to be the senior member in the United States House of Representatives. At one time, Charlie Rangel was number 2, and John Conyers number 1.
Yeah.
2 black men were at the lead of Congress.
Yeah.
And it was a great time for me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So, you know, Mr. Conyers, who did so much work.
And what's interesting is they both served with your father, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I got to serve with them, and they served with my father.
That was big, man.
Quite an honor. Quite an honor. And, you know, sometimes people wonder why, you know, we don't hear Payne, we don't hear boisterous, you're not loud and all, you know. I really take deference to these senior members. I you know, I'm going to be here. I'm going to have my chance. But I just show respect for them. I mean, if they're in the room talking, what do I have to say?
Yeah. You know,
Charlie Rangel is, what do I have to, I'm listening, I'm learning.
Right.
So.
And you know, it's funny, man, because the way I was looking at it, man, when Elijah went home to be with the Lord, and then I heard about Conyers, because, you know, I told you, man, I was shocked when I woke up that morning.
Yeah.
And you told me you was up at 5 o'clock sitting on the end of your bed, man.
Yeah.
And for me, it felt like we were losing generals, man.
Absolutely.
You know? I mean, because there's a scripture in the Bible that says that, you know, the younger for war and the elders, right, are supposed to be there providing wisdom and leadership for us. And that's what I felt like, man, that morning, man. You know, and even with Conyers, man, because of, you know, who he is and what he represented and the fact that he's been in Congress for so long. And the thing is that, you know, when you think about it, think about what we could have learned from these guys, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was doing every week at the, you know, at the Congressional Black Caucus lunch. I just listened and learned.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it is a sad day. It really was. And you know, I attended his funeral, and there was also a ceremony at the House of Representatives.
Was that the private one that they had for y'all, the family?
It wasn't private. It was open to members of Congress and staff and all.
Right.
But they, you know, he's the only second member. He might have been the only member. He's the only second person to lie in state there in the rotunda.
Yeah, he said
not the rotunda, in the.
He's the first African American to lie in state.
Yeah. And you know, they don't do that for a lot of people.
Right.
So
right.
It was quite an honor.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, I am honored that we had him on the Payne Report.
Absolutely. And when I had been talking to him about coming back on, he was said as soon as he got himself together, he'd be back.
Because he had said that. He'd said, y'all got to have me back when he was on.
Absolutely.
You know? And I just thought that was such an honor, man, for us to have him on the Payne Report. And remember, he was dropping wisdom, you know, and the thing that excited him the most when he was on, you know, when we brought up the fact that, you know, he was right there amongst the people with Freddie Gray. And remember, he thanked us for that. He said, man, I thank y'all for, you know, saying that and bringing it up, man, because most people didn't realize, and we talked about this last week here on the show, most people didn't realize that he lived right there in the community, man.
Right there.
You know?
Dead smack.
They lived in a house that his family owned and grew up in, man. Think about that.
Never left.
You know?
Never left.
And that is why I think that he could kind of lead the kind of leadership that he was leading, right? Because he went home every night to the people, right? And I thought that was really, really big, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, his district was very fortunate to have him as their congressman.
You know, it's funny. You know, in hip hop, we say, we talk about digging somebody's flow. You know what I mean? I really dug his flow.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I just think that, that's why I told you, I was shocked, man, when I woke up that morning. Kim got up first. She woke me up, and I was like, she said, I know this is going to be terrible news for you. And when she told me that, I said, oh, what? Yeah. And all I could think about was you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a call at 5 in the morning, and they let me know that he had passed, and it was really devastating.
See, that's why I said, man, these are generals, man, and we've got to take every opportunity that we can to sit down with them, man, talk to them, find out, what it is that we can learn and how we can use it, and carry it forward in order to move our communities forward, man.
Yeah. Every time he came to the floor, I sat next to him. He was using a walker these days, and he was having trouble. And so he would get to the first seat there on the front row, and then I'd just sit next to him, and whatever he needed, whatever he wanted, and just talk and really learned a lot from him. He was an incredible individual.
You know what I thought was a powerful story was when his wife, Elijah Cummings, when she said that, on the final day, she said they took him up to the roof.
Yeah.
When she said that,
on
top of the roof, in the bed, and she said the sun was shining on him, and he had said to her, he said, "I'm tired." Mm-hmm. Man, that had me crying, brother.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she was so powerful, brother. You know what I mean? And I thank God that you had her on the Payne Report as well, man.
Right.
And I was just thinking to myself, man, I said, imagine the information she has, right? And that's why, when she get herself together, man, after some time, we definitely got to have her back to pick her brain, man.
Absolutely.
To say, we need you to share some of that wisdom.
Absolutely.
We know that you've got some of that stuff in you, sis. You know?
Yeah, I mean, they were a true power couple.
Yes.
And, she, in her own right has made a mark for herself.
Yeah.
So, you might not have heard the last from her either.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I sure hope not, man. I really, I think she did a great job, because she made it personal, right? Remember when she told Obama, she said he really, really liked you.
Oh, yeah.
She made it personal, right? I mean, and who knows better than your wife that sleeps next to you every night of what he thinks about everybody, And remember when she said that he supported Clinton, when they were coming against him, Clinton. And I thought that was just so on point, man, to hear that. Because if you're hearing it from her, you're really hearing it from him.
Right. She would know.
Yeah. It was a beautiful homegoing.
It was.
And to see everybody show up the way that they did.
Oh yeah, it was a great outpouring of love and respect. The church held 4,000 people.
Yeah.
And it was quite a scene to see every seat filled that day.
Yeah.
Just about 2 days ago, I went to the floor after everything kind of settled down, and wanted to do my own moment of respect for him,
right.
Without, a lot of other people talking about it. So I went to the Florida Congress about 2 days ago, and I did what they call a 1-minute speech. And it was on Congressman Cummings and our relationship. And if we could we play that? Madam Speaker, I rise today to honor Congressman Elijah Eugene Cummings after his sudden passing on October 17th. Much has been said about his legacy and dedication to the people of Maryland's 7th District, but I rise to honor his humility and incredible love for our country. Not knowing that he was near the end of his life, I was honored to have several very personal conversations with Congressman Cummings. He was struggling with health issues and knew I could relate. But he was concerned with more than just his health at that moment. He is concerned about our country. America has come a long way during his lifetime, but he knew it would not take much to undo the progress that we have made, and he was worried about it. It was an honor to have such a conversation with an American icon, civil rights legend, and my father on the floor of Congress. It is a moment I will treasure forever. And with that, Madam Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
Yeah, I thought that was a powerful speech by you, man. I had an opportunity to see you do that live, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to hold it together. It's kind of rough right now, but yeah, he just meant so much to so many.
Yeah, I saw you, man, when you had to end it, man. You know what I mean? Because I saw you getting emotional, and you was about to get us emotional, man. We were watching. No, don't do that, bro. Look, man. I think that there are not many brothers like that come our way, and I think that's a great example for you, though, brother, because you can look at him and say to yourself, not only did you have your father as that example, but you had this other brother that was an example. So no matter what folks say, you've had an incredible opportunity that most people don't get, man.
That's true. Believe me, I know how blessed I am, and I'm appreciative of all the opportunities that I've been given in my lifetime, and all I try to do is give back, because I know, that, it is just, I've just been blessed.
Yeah,
I've been blessed.
I think that's why, man. I tell you, the way you using your position, man, to get in touch with doctors and sharing that information, you saving people's lives, and I think about that, man. I said, wow, just think about not only, people who don't have access to doctors or don't have access to connections, and you doing that, man, and you saving people's lives, and you being as real as you can, because most people aren't transparent. Right. You transparent. Right. Most people don't tell you what's going on in their lives medically, man.
Yeah. I figured early on in my life that I wasn't, this politics and all that is, fleeting and can be gone any minute. But to be able to help, people in their everyday struggles, is rewarding.
I told Kim, coming here, I was saying, man, I thought about, when you had the doctor on, and I told you this, I was telling my wife this. I said, could you imagine if that information that the congressman brought and my father was still alive, he would still be alive to this day. And that's why Congressman Cummings was looking at you and saying, hey, man, I see you surviving this thing. Well, how you doing it? What am I, and see, that's what I'm saying, when you have somebody you can touch, man, somebody you can call, you can talk to, who can relate to everything you're going through. Because I'm telling you, man, you look good, and with you saying how sick you were, and you were still pushing forward, man.
Yeah, I had a tough couple years there, and when I look back, in retrospect, it's I sometimes just shake my head. Now, knowing how I felt and looking at pictures of me back then, I'm like, whoa. Right. But, thank God that, he's allowed me to come through it and regain some of my health. And maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Maybe.
I think so. I think that's, I was listening to something Roland Martin had wrote about his journey. And I said, wow, man, who would have thought? You know, you've been through bankruptcy. You know, you lost your house, man, you know, and you lost your cars, man. And it's like, and he's coming back, right? And who would have thought? Because you look like a picture of success.
Right.
But that's because you haven't told anybody. You know, there's an old saying when people say, I don't look like what I've been through. Right?
Oh, right.
You look at me, man, but you have no idea what I've been through. Right? And you know, and that's what I say about you, because you know, you came and did your show every Friday, right, DJ Rhino?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were in here, man, you know, and you know, and you still was on your job being a father to your kids, being a husband to your wife, you know, being a congressman, being a brother in the community. You were still pushing forward, and you were still doing public events.
Yeah. I
That's what I'm saying. It's amazing, man.
It's amazing.
Right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why you can teach, man. You know, when somebody got to give a testimony, let me tell you mine.
Absolutely, and I was able to. Beth Israel had me at their Women's Health Day, and I was the keynote speaker, and I just sat down and told my story.
Yeah.
And, you know, you hear all those women gasping.
Yeah.
You know, every time I talked about another thing I went through, they couldn't believe it.
Right.
But you know, it. You know, I see people in the street now and say they were at Beth Israel that day, and how much I helped them. You know.
Wow.
So it's all good.
But that I think that's what it is, right? I think that, you know, when you tell your story, you helping somebody, right? Because it's not something you made up.
Right.
You know, when somebody says, "I can tell you how good God has been to me," but how could you tell me that you haven't been through anything?
Exactly.
I can tell you how good He's been to me because I can tell you what I've been through.
Save the wretch like me.
You see what I'm saying? Think about that. You know,
Yeah.
no truer words have been spoken when you come through that, right? You can say, you know, who am I that God thought enough of me to bless me in the way He has?
I always wonder.
Right?
I always ask.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you know, I told somebody one time, Congressman Payne, I said, think about all the money Steve Jobs had, but he couldn't buy another liver.
Right.
He would have given away everything that he earned at Apple if he could just get another liver.
Yep.
But he couldn't. And so you think about the love that God has for you, that He would allow you to go through that and then bring you out on this side and say, here's what I need you to be now. I need you to be my truth teller. I need you to tell people about not only what I've done for you, but what you've survived by my grace.
It's true.
Right?
No, that's deep.
And that's why, you know, I'm grateful, man, to see you every week, man. You know, I mean, talk to you, man. We hang out with you, and you know, and just listen to you, man. And then when you hit me up and tell me, you know, you're gonna be, you know, speaking, or you're gonna be chairing the Congress,
Right.
man, Kim will tell you, man, I run to the TV, man. I'll be like, yo, you know, she'd be like, what are you running for? I'm like, no, I want this on the big TV. You know what I mean? You know, put that on the 52-inch. I want to see the brother.
Yeah,
you know?
it's really amazing. I don't know. The speaker, and you know, she's been gracious, and I think she really likes me in that position. And, so they reach out to me, you know, pretty regularly now.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the parliamentarians that are there to help you through it and all. They say, "Oh, Mr. Payne, you know." So you know, I'm getting kind of comfortable in it.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, learning a lot too about the parliamentary rules and all.
Right,
So
right.
it's good. It's good.
I think what's good about that too, particularly for us back home, is to see one of ours, right?
Right.
You know, you have no idea what that does to young people who could look at you and say, "Wow, look
Right.
at what's possible." Because I was just, you know, when Pastor Ali came in, man, and he was talking about how long you and he been friends,
Mhm.
and I was like, I had no idea y'all been
Yeah.
friends for over 50 years,
Yeah.
man. Like what? You know? And he was like, yeah. He said, my friend invited me to come down to D.C., man. You know? And you know, I joke with you, man. You know, when I say, you know, can't give a brother no position, he invite the hood with him.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
so I mean, you think about what you did for your DJ, man, inviting your brother to come.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's just a brother saying, yo, man, you know, I mean, no matter how high I rise, man, I'm not gonna rise higher than my people. Man. I'm taking it with me, man.
You know, if you can't do it for them, then what's it for?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, I mean, Rhino's a great DJ, and so why not let him get that?
Yeah.
You know, get that exposure. You know?
Yeah.
Let some other people know it. I don't keep it to myself. I want everybody to know.
Right. I know Ali came back, man. When he came back to do a show, man, he was just like he was on fire, man.
Yeah.
And he was just saying, yo, man, I had a tremendous time, and you know, he said just for my brother to do that, man, to invite me, and he said I've been friends with this guy for 50 years. I'm like, but you ain't but 50. How old are you, man? You know what I mean? I'm saying, how old are you two, man? I mean, y'all talking like that, man.
We knew each other when we were 3. But yeah, no, I mean, it was you know, it was a great opportunity for the pastor to be, you know, and Rhino to be put on Front Street. I mean, you know, you do it because you can.
Yeah.
And you know, they're qualified in their field, so I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Not like I'm taking some jack lad, you know. I'm taking somebody that's doing God's work in the streets every single day.
That's right. Yeah.
And you know, the work that he does, I want to associate myself with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about reaching down, reaching up, reaching over, and pulling people along. I mean, you know, you didn't have to do this radio show with me. I mean. It's given me a forum and an opportunity for people to get to know me and you know, hear me discuss issues and get feedback on what they think I need to be doing. So, you know, I appreciate you for what you're doing.
Listen, brother,
and all the people that you put on the radio.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, you welcome, and you know, I tell you all the time, man. You know, you the big double OG homie, brother. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, and that's just straight up real. Man, we. You know, I mean, you like the music we like, so you fit into the realm. We ain't, you know, I mean, we ain't the youngest people in the room, but you know, I mean, we still love hip hop, and you know, and you know, so we enjoy a whole different kind of vibe. But we want to be alive for the young brothers behind us, man, so they can see our example.
Absolutely.
You know, that we ain't got to be out there losing our minds, man. That you know, we can make it, and we can still enjoy our music and have fun.
They got to pay attention.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, and stop acting like they shy. You know what I mean? But we used to be 22.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So, you know, before we run out of time, though, Congressman, let's talk a little bit about John Conyers, man.
Yeah, the dean of the Congress, the man responsible for the Martin Luther King birthday holiday, one of the founding members of the Congressional Black Caucus. I mean, just, you know, he was working on the reparations bill.
That's right.
He'd been working on that for
Was it HR 40, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And
which you signed on to.
I did.
Yeah.
Now Sheila Jackson Lee has picked up the mantle and is continuing to try to bring it across the finish line.
Right.
So, you know, we don't miss a beat, but Mr. Conyers was an extraordinary legislator in his own right. And, you know, just being there for all of that landmark legislation, the Voting Rights Act, and all of the civil rights legislation, he was right there helping craft it and mold it. And, you know, he's truly going to be missed too. And God rest his soul. He was 90 years old.
Yeah.
So he had a good life.
Yeah, 90, man. I was listening to one of his friends in Detroit, man, one of the reverends, and he said that, you know, that morning he came downstairs, had breakfast with his family, and, you know, and said he was tired, said he was going to go back up and just take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he went upstairs, took a nap, and just didn't wake up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Mr. Conyers was a good man, and you know they tell me I was the second best dressed man in Congress behind Mr. Conyers.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yeah. They said he loved double-breasted suits, man. Was that true?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have some really nice hookups.
I know you was
I'd
checking
be like,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was truly a great man as well. I've been really fortunate. I mean, you know, Charlie Rangel, and John Conyers, and Elijah Cummings, and Jim Clyburn, and, you know, the list goes on and on. Emmanuel Cleaver.
Yeah.
And
See,
you know,
again, there's those generals, man.
And it's interesting, because I came to Congress as a legacy. So, and with the passing of my father, I feel as I've got all of these mothers and fathers, they're all, taking care of me paternally and maternally, and but it's all good. It's made it an interesting ride, and because I really came to Congress different than most people, and usually where it's a dog eat dog, I've had a lot of people outpouring their compassion and looking out for me. So I've been once again blessed.
But I also think that the other thing is that you did the Payne name good. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm trying.
Because you remember what you said about your kids. You said that they wanted to get into politics. You don't want to get in just because you want to get in it because your name is Payne.
Right.
But no, you got to want to do something. You got to want to serve.
You offer.
Right. And I think that that's what you've done, right? And I think that that's why I dig being associated with you. Or that's why we dig being associated with you, right? Because you're doing something, man. And I think that in and of itself.
I'm trying.
Yeah. And the thing is, again, man, I keep saying the same thing. You everywhere. I mean, I don't know how you do that. I'm like, dude, come home and he everywhere. You don't come home and rest and just chill out. Yo, I don't know how you take all the invitations, but I'm like, okay. So the one thing, I know. And I'm saying the one thing you can't say about our brother is that he ain't there. No, he's there. I mean, and I don't know how you do it, but hey, look, man, all I can say is God bless you, man.
Thank you.
And the fact that you keep pushing, and again, man, I mean, I think at some point, me and you got to start talking too, man, about, like these generals you're around, like what is that like, man, to be in that company, just to, because you got to imagine the stories that they survived, man.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
When you think about the racism, the Jim Crowism, all of that they came through. I mean, you think about when Jim Conyers was there was only 3 congressmen.
Right.
And now you look at all the Congressional
55.
Black Caucus and all these black men and black women. I mean, think about that. And then the brothers who are there now, who are in their 70s and their 80s, man. I mean, I can only imagine what that's like for you, man, to sit amongst them brothers.
It's incredible.
And them sisters, man, because they just as powerful, man.
Absolutely.
You think about, like you said, Sheila Jackson Lee picking up the mantle and keep it going. And that's what should happen, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. When somebody fall on the battlefield, somebody should say, I got it.
Yep. And, it's unfortunate we have, lost Mr. Cummings. And so we have what we call the Big Five, which are the members of the Black Caucus that were full committee chairs.
Right.
That's big.
Yeah.
Committee chair.
Yeah.
Not sub. I'm a subcommittee chair, which is not bad, but the full committee, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And so we had Mr. Cummings, Mr. Thompson, Benny Thompson from Mississippi. We had Bobby Scott from Virginia, who's education.
Right.
Thompson is homeland. Eddie Bernice Johnson from Texas, who is science and technology, and Miss Maxine Ward.
Oh yeah.
Financial services.
Auntie Max. Yeah.
So that's a lot of power.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There are people in the Congress that would like to see not to see those people in those seats. But they're there, and then you have probably about another 15. Or so that are subcommittee chairs.
Yeah.
I'm a subcommittee chair in Homeland Security.
Yeah.
So it's we're doing our thing. We're making our moves. And, I'm working on some legislation. We do a lot of work around children and natural disasters or disasters.
Right.
Because what we found is in planning for disasters, accommodations and things for children have been left out.
Right.
So that's been one of my focus. What are we going to do about children in this incident? What about children in this? So I've been really gaining a lot of recognition for my work around Save the Children.
Right.
And Save the Children acknowledge me, but I work around children in emergency.
Yeah. Well, I think that's real big, man, and you know that's needed in our community, bro.
Absolutely.
You know, because we've got to save them while they're young, and if we don't do that, then of course we know the end of the story, right?
Absolutely.
We've seen it all too often, man.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm just grateful, man, that you still there, and you still on the job, and one of the things I want to say, man, before we ran out of time, I remember when Charlie Rangel became in charge of the House and Ways and Means Committee, and I thought that was the biggest thing ever, man.
Oh, Ways and Means is like one of the most important committees in Congress because it can touch anything it decides to touch.
Yeah. Ways
and Means.
Yes.
And
yes.
You know.
Because I remember when your father came on, man, may God be pleased with Daddy Payne. When he came on and explained that to us, man, I was like, whoa. He was like, listen, this is no small thing here, man. He said, y'all, he said, y'all need to pay attention to this, you know.
And that's one of the reasons they went after him.
Yeah. And censored him.
You know, tried to do him in because they didn't want.
He had too much
that
power.
Black man to be the head of that.
Yeah. And remember what he created that Harlem Zone, and all of those businesses and all that thing. I mean, I saw that happening. I was like, and remember, Charlie Rangel was an old man then.
Yep.
And he was still doing all of this great work.
Still doing his thing.
You know, and at some point, man, I think we need to reach out for him and get him on the. On the Payne Report, man, before you're going to be with the Lord. Man.
Maybe I'll reach out to him. I owe him a phone call anyway.
Yeah, I think we should plan to do some big things with those generals, man. In 2020, man.
That's a good idea.
Invite them on the show and let them know how much not only you but how much we all honor them, and we want to make sure that we talking to them talking to us in the community. Like we did, with Cummings.
Absolutely.
So I think that would be a great thing.
Going into next year, let's do it.
All right, my brother. Sound like we got a plan going on, Rhino, for next year, man.
Let me hit Rhino up. Yo, my man, Gangstar. So I hear J. Cole. J. Cole did something with him. You heard that? Mm-hmm. You heard that piece?
Yeah.
It's laying around somewhere?
You know I got it.
I know you got it. That's why
I asked. you know it's gonna be a spotlight DJ Rhino night tonight.
Oh yeah?
Oh, listen, man, we've been putting this together for a while. We're gonna turn DJ Rhino loose, right? And he's gonna kick it, man, for the next hour and a half. It's all gonna be about DJ Rhino.
It's about time.
Oh yeah. We me and Rhino been talking about it, John, and all of that. So I don't know what he got planned. He don't tell nobody in advance.
Ready. I know he's
so
ready.
We don't know.
He's been waiting for this.
When the train was late, he was giving us a little taste of it.
Oh, all right.
And I was like, whoa, man. I'm like, I'm trying to contain myself because Rhino be dropping some new stuff that you haven't heard. So we about to turn him loose, man. Any final words on your?
No, it's just to the Honorable John Conyers and the Honorable Elijah Cummings, may you rest in peace, and your work will live on and speak for you for many, many generations to come. God rest you.
There it is, y'all. Y'all have heard it. That's Congressman Donald M. Payne Jr., the M is for making things happen. Right? And so listen, man, we're about to turn DJ Rhino loose. We're gonna let him go and do what he do. We've been talking about this for a while. DJ Rhino is perhaps one of the most premier hip hop DJs in the country. But I want to say, just right up front, DJ Rhino is my brother who's been rolling with me practically, since I've been doing this show. He came on a little later, man, but he's been with me every step of the way. You know what I say, Congressman? I said when the footnotes are written, it's going to be me and DJ Rhino doing the footnotes.
Right.
Everybody else will write the story, but DJ Rhino's been here with me, so we can write those.
As he plays my theme music.
So we're gonna go out and let DJ Rhino do his thing. Hey,
but may God rest in peace, Guru.
Yeah,
Star.
Yeah, the great Guru.
It was great to hear him again with J. Cole. Big up to J. Cole for that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
You ready, DJ Rhino?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You listening to Politics are Local, America's number one political hip hop radio talk show.